Hi, this is Ellen for Ellen Knows. This episode is regarding hearing aids and their pricing and selection. Hearing aid pricing is based on two factors, basically. Most commonly, hearing aids have something called channels and bands. Those are usually kind of associated with each other. And then there's the software. The channels and bands have to do with the sound and how it sounds. Um, the rule of thumb is the more channels, the better the clarity or the better the quality of sound. There's a lot of I've read some research recently regarding how many channels is actually optimal. And in all honesty, a lot of it's subjective because it has to do with your preference and quality of sound. I know that they can put a hearing aid into a machine and say, this sounds better, or they can ask people what sounds better, but that's really more opinion. Being a hearing aid wearer myself, I wear a little tiny hearing aid. There they are right there. I wear a couple different styles. I also wear a receiver in the canal, which is these. I found that the higher the channel, the better the clarity, the better the noise management. So the lowest end hearing aid will have 2 channels, the highest end hearing aid will have 16. So and every manufacturer handles channels differently and puts different things on channels. Channels are what you can do with the sound. Bands are how many times a frequency spectrum has been split. So there's really no solid answer for what is best. Just go with affordability, whatever you can afford, and the quality of the sound. If the quality of the sound isn't up to par, then move maybe to another brand. Secondly, the next thing you need to consider is software, and really that's the bulk of the price. The more aggressive the software, the more advanced the software, the more the hearing aid can do, the greater the price. So, for example, these right here are a Siemens 701 receiver in the canal, Rick. These are really cool because they come, at least in my practice, you can get a remote that can hook to your all your Bluetooth devices, so I can answer my phone through my hearing aid. Very cool, love that. It can also be connected to a television. It can be connected to iPods. It can be connected to so many things. So some patients like those features. Some patients just don't care. So this is a 16 channel. Pure 701. I really like this hearing aid. It does have one piece of software that I absolutely love. It's called Sound Smoothing. And Sound Smoothing basically understands when there's spikes in sound, and it kind of squashes it and makes sound much smoother and much softer. In my practice, my patients report they're pretty happy with that particular software, and they're also wireless, which means that the hearing aids are always in sync. No more guessing which number I'm in, which program I'm in this ear versus this ear. So when they're wireless, that's just a really cool feature. And they also take a size 13 battery. Some of the RICs take a size 10 battery, which is 4 days. I don't really personally like changing batteries every 4 days. I do that with my CSEs. I prefer something that takes a little longer. Oh, by the way, these right here, the little Siemens, they're also rechargeable. So, if you want to go eco, it's a great way to go. My patients love the rechargeability. So, basically, there is certain pieces of software that can become important. The most important thing is to ask your dispenser if they can explain, the pieces of software that's in each hearing aid and each technology level, and then you find something that is comfortable for you. And don't, it's better sometimes not to let someone else pick it for you. Ask questions, come in with a little bit of knowledge if that always is helpful. Explain, it's always good to know what you want from a hearing aid or what situations, and then, as a dispenser, I know that I can find a hearing aid to fit your needs. So hopefully I've answered the question. I'm not going to give a dollar amount because every state is a little bit different, and economics and everyone's markup is slightly different. Just keep in mind that the hearing aid always includes, or usually includes, fittings. So we have to factor in that cost. So I develop a relationship over a period of 5 years, so I provide free fittings for the entire life of the hearing aid. So that does factor into the patient cost. Some hearing aids I've noticed now come with 1 year of fittings. So just keep in mind that you may save money on the front end, but you may end up paying a lot more on the back end. So just remember a little rule that sometimes the cheap comes out expensive. So be very careful with that. Anyway, so I'm Ellen with Ellen Knows. If you have any questions, just post them on the comments. You have a good day.